You're joining us today for a webinar on mapping with ArcGIS real-time data and deliver valuable location-based insights at a glance with unique maps. Joining us today is Irene, technology consultant in Esri, Malaysia. Irene provides technical assistance and consultations in the implementation of Esri's extensive product line. So let's get started with today's webinar. I'll pass this over to Irene. Over to you, Irene.
All right, thank you, Zatil. Uh, Hi, good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you for joining our webinar session this morning. All right, so these are the things that I want to highlight today, where I will start with an introduction about ArcGIS Living Atlas first, in terms of what it's about, the content types, how and where we can use ArcGIS Living Atlas. Then I will make a sharing about top 10 ways to use ArcGIS Living Atlas in your ArcGIS platform in terms of how and what it can help you guys in your daily work. All right. Let's look at on the introduction first. What is ArcGIS Living Atlas? Okay, so ArcGIS Living Atlas is a platform that provides a collection of Esri curated geographic content and submission from organizations and contributors from all over the world. It offers an ecosystem of shared content, including maps, apps, and data layers that you can use to adapt and analyze in your project. So basically, all the content available on ArcGIS Living Atlas are published by Esri partners and also the users of ArcGIS product. Okay, so there are 5 types of Living Atlas, which are maps. So you can use interactive web maps that have been shared in Living Atlas to tell stories and answer questions. And it has layers. You can browse and use layers that has been shared in Living Atlas. Basically, the logical collection of data for creating maps, scene, and analysis. And it has a scenes, so you can browse and use scene that have been shared to visualize and analyze in interactive 3D environment. And it has apps or story maps, so you can browse and use apps or story map to access focus map centric workflows and tools. And last but not least, you can also browse and use shared tools that allow you to quantify patterns and relationship in the data and display the result as the maps, table, and also the charts. All right. So now, in terms of how we can use ArcGIS Living Atlas content is depending on the user itself. Some users that are already familiar with ArcGIS platform, that should be no issue at all. But for the user that are not very familiar with Living Atlas, so here are the basic process on how we can use it. All right. So firstly, of course, we need to explore, search, uh, or browse the content that are suitable for our requirements. For example, if you are currently working with a population project, then you can explore Living Atlas content by using the population keyword. So you can explore the content from Esri and thousands of the other organizations. All right. So after that, if you already found and explore the content that meets your criteria for the project, so you can grab the content by save as your own version into your ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Enterprise, or ArcGIS Pro. For example, you can combine the content with your own data to create a new maps and application to make a spatial analysis. All right. So the last one, from the content that you grab, you see how others are visualizing data and solving the problem. So if you need to start from scratch and you don't have an idea how to start, don't worry. Living Atlas will help you to get and capture some idea. All right. Okay, so now let's look at to the where we can use ArcGIS Living Atlas. Okay, so basically you can use ArcGIS Living Atlas in your ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Enterprise, and ArcGIS Pro. All right, on the ArcGIS Online, you can access your Living Atlas content on the content tab here, and you go to the Living Atlas. All right, so on here, it will display all the content available from Living Atlas website. Okay, same goes as to ArcGIS Enterprise. You can go to the content tab here and click on the Living Atlas. So if your ArcGIS Enterprise portal have access to the internet, so your organization organization administrator can configure it to access Living Atlas content from ArcGIS Online. So you can go to the organization and click on the settings, and you click on the ArcGIS Online. You scroll down until you find the configure Living Atlas content. All right. Okay. So for ArcGIS Pro, you can also access the Living Atlas content on the catalog pane here. You go to the portal and you click on the Living Atlas here. Okay. So it depending on which portal that you have signed in on your ArcGIS Pro. All right. Okay. So now let's look at to the top 10 ways to maximize Living Atlas usage on your ArcGIS platform that you need to know, and maybe you can use or take it as a guideline and apply it on your daily work. All right, let's look at the first one. All right, searching data. So you can use Living Atlas content to find the data that you need quickly and efficiently. All right, so this is one of the main capabilities of ArcGIS Living Atlas. Majority ArcGIS users are using Living Atlas to find the content or the data for their project. So there are many ways to search for Living Atlas data, either through the ArcGIS Living Atlas website, ArcGIS Online, or ArcGIS Pro. So depending on whether you have an existing project or starting a new one, so my top tip is to search for the data set in ArcGIS Living Atlas website. All right. So in Living Atlas website, there are a lot of filters that you can use to find a specific content that required effectively. All right. So let's move to the second one, map authoring. Of course, when you already found the content that meets your requirements, so you can start to authoring the content by open it in an ArcGIS map viewer or ArcGIS in viewer or ArcGIS desktop, and you can save it to your own content after you finish. All right. So the third one is custom base map gallery. Okay, so the administrator for your organization can choose between the Esri default base map or create the custom base map gallery. So you can choose from the available ArcGIS Living Atlas base map to better suit your work. Okay, so the fourth one is my favorite. So we can use Living Atlas content. Uh, we can use the my favorite to bookmark Living Atlas content. Okay, so basically my favorite are built into the map viewer and scene viewer. So you can use the favorite for quick access and making this handy technique to find the Living Atlas layer without needing to go back and search again. All right. So the next one is Living Atlas apps. So we can use Living Atlas app to learn some more about a specific topic. Okay, so most of the apps are intended to be used as is to learn more about a topic, such as wildfire, air quality, drought condition, and many more. But some applications, such as World Imagery Webpack, can be used not only to explore, but also to download the data and asset layer for other workflows. All right. So the next one is advanced search. Okay, by using a Living Atlas website, you can apply some filters to make your result, your search result more accurate. So you can share your filter search result with the others by copying the URL at the top of the page. And the URL will return all the content that are authoritative that match the checked filter. All right, so the next one is live feed. So make your maps come alive with a Living Atlas live feeds. So ArcGIS Living Atlas include the authoritative live feed that helps you to monitor and learn more about the current and predicted condition. All right, so the next one is visualization and analysis. So Living Atlas provide access to apps, tool, and high quality GIS data that can be used to visualize event or to perform the various type of analysis. All right, for example, you can use the Living Atlas layers to perform the spatial analysis such as buffering, overlay, and proximity analysis. Okay, so the next one is technique and tradecraft. Okay, so you can use Living Atlas to learn technique and tradecraft. Okay, so Living Atlas are maps, apps, and layer leverage the very best technique and tradecraft to turn data into expressive display information. Okay, so from there, you can learn on how to use the custom base map, applying focus and interest, using style, blending, and effect. And also you can use to learn on how to create the eye-catching informational pop-up. Okay, So the last but not least, you can use Living Atlas to quickly reveal insight with a Living Atlas data through customized pop-up using arcade expression. Okay, so currently arcade expression are starting to be a popular among ArcGIS users because it provides on-the-fly calculation capability. Some ArcGIS Living Atlas dataset have used arcade to enrich their data, and you can learn it from there without being a programmer to use and understand it. Okay. All right. Now I will show you guys a demonstration on how we can maximize the way to use a Living Atlas in your daily work. All right. Uh, I will give you an sample scenario here. Okay. Let's say I am currently working with a furniture industry in Malaysia, and my organization is currently planning to expand their factory operation. And I need to get some information to do some analysis to help my organization to find the suitable places to open up the new factories. And the criteria to open the factories are it must be the location that have a less population density and less probability of wildfire to happen. All right, let's say my organization are already subscribed to ArcGIS Online, and what I need now is the population and the boundary data for Malaysia area in order to get the information of the specific location. All right, what I can do now is I go to the Living Atlas website, livingatlas.arcgis.com. All right, then I'm signed in into my ArcGIS Online account from here. All right, then from here, I can go to the Browse tab here. Okay, so and you can see a lot of categories and filter tools that you can use to find your data more effectively. All right, so for now, I will choose the boundary categories and I will select the layers for the content types and I will choose Malaysia for the region. All right, now it will display all the results for the criteria that we apply. Okay, so you can also share the result with other team members by copying the URL and forward it to them. Okay, so if they are open the URL and it automatically will return all the result with the filter apply. All right. Okay, so now when I already found the layer that I need, so I can choose it to open through map viewer, scene viewer, or ArcGIS desktop. Okay, so uh, for this one, I will open in the map viewer. Okay, so by using this content, I can start to explore by seeing the attribute and by click on the table to see the detail about it, or I can save this web map as into my own content. All right. Okay. So by using the Living Atlas content, we just not can explore it, but we also can learn for the technique and the thread graph. Okay, so what is the technique and the thread graph? Okay, so it is the way in which content is configured in terms of the style, labels, pop-up effect, and many more configuration. All right, so for example, this is the web map that I found from Living Atlas content, show the information about the wildfire activity in the worldwide area. All right, so by using this content, I can see and learn on how it has been configured in terms of its properties, what style that has been applied on this web map, what is the filter that has been used, and the effect, and also the others configuration as well. All right, so other than that, we also can learn how arcade expression has been configured using a Living Atlas content. All right, for example, this content has used arcade expression to configure its pop-up to display the information in there. All right, so from here, we can learn how the arcade has been used to calculate the value, and we can learn also how we can display the value into this pop-up. Okay, all right, so let's go back to the content. All right, so if you need to find and shortlist several or multiple content first, don't worry, you can use a favorite by click on the star icon over here. All right. So the content will automatically be available in my favorite section in your ArcGIS platform. So if you open up your ArcGIS platform and you go to the my favorite, so you can see all the content that you favorite from the Living Atlas website in here. All right. Okay, now let's continue to our scenario. Okay, now what I need now is I need to find a suitable base map that I can use to see the location on the target location. All right, in the Living Atlas website, there are a base map categories on here. So on here, it will display all the available base map that you can use or include into your organizational base map gallery. So in my case now, I need to use this world imagery base map to see the structure of the target location. And of course, I need to know on the target location when is the last update that has been done on the imagery. All right. So what I can do now is on the Living Atlas website, I can go to the app section here and I find the imagery, world imagery web app, and I will open it up. All right. Okay, so by using this application, I can get the information about when the last time the imagery got updated on my target location. All right, for example, I will search for a location on here. All right, so this application will display a list of timeline on when the imagery has been updated on the target location. And it also will help me by provide the information and also help me to make a decision whether this best map can be used on my project or not. All right. So not only that, let's say during my exploration on this application and suddenly I found the application configuration is interesting and I want to make the same configuration as it, don't worry, you can simply download the application by click on this download button, and you can download the source of the application from the GitHub. All right, so then you can use it as your guideline to learn on how to make an interactive web application like this. All right, okay, now let's continue to our scenario. Okay, now I already have boundary and population data in the Malaysia area and decided to use the imagery base map. And the other things that I need is a live information about the hotspot or a fire point in Malaysia to help me to analyze whether the area has less possibility to fire disaster or not. Okay, so what I can do in the Living Atlas website here, I can search for the live feed here. Okay, then I will choose the live feed status page. Okay, so from here, this is the live feed status page that has been developed by Esri team that consists a list of the live feed. Okay, so it also provides the information such as the last update, the next update, and also the usage trend. Okay, so for my case now, I think I need to use the satellite VIRS thermal hotspot and fire activity to get the information on the areas that that are labeled as hot and has the possibility of fire detected from NASA satellite sensor. All right, now I will open up this live feed layer into a new map. So this is the layer, live feed layer here. All right, and finally, I already have the population and the boundary data in the Malaysia area and a fire point live data in Malaysia area. And now I will add up all the required content that I found in Living Atlas into my map viewer. So I can simply go to the add and I click on the browse layer. Okay, and I will choose my favorite. Okay, then I will add all this content into my map viewer. Okay, so from here, I can start to enhance my web map based on my requirement. Okay, so let's say I need to use this live feed data about the hotspot fire point. So let's say I will change the style. Okay, so I will use the heat map for this style. All right, then I will use the subject boundaries layer to see the density of population in the specific area. Then for this one, I think I will use dot density style. Okay, for this daerah boundary, I will use it to see the specific location. Okay. Okay, so from here, I already visualize all the content that I found from Living Atlas into a single map viewer, and I can see roughly which area that I need to avoid. Okay, so and of course, if I need to get more details, and I can use the analysis tool on the data to find and avoid the hotspot and the high population density area, and at once it can help me to find and understand better and suitable places to open the new factories. All right, so I think that's all for my demonstration, and I want to recap back what has been shared on this webinar session. So you guys already has been shared about the overview of ArcGIS Living Atlas. So it's a platform that provides the collection of Esri created content and submission from organization and contributor all around the world. And there are 5 types of content that you can find in Living Atlas, which are maps, layers, scene, apps or story maps, and also tools. And the basic process on how we can use ArcGIS Living Atlas content by start with explore required content and grab the content and get some idea to build your own. Then we can use Living Atlas in multiple ArcGIS platforms such as ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Enterprise, and ArcGIS Pro. And the last one is there are the top 10 that you need to know. The way how to use the Living Atlas. Okay, so I will pass back to Zatil. Right, thank you.
Okay, so we have a question from Puan Hanisa. So the question is, how do we know that content from ArcGIS Living Atlas consists of the data in Malaysia area?
Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, currently in ArcGIS Living Atlas content, there is still not much data that specifically contains data in the Malaysia area. So what we can do now is to search for the worldwide content or data. So usually the worldwide content or data has covered a whole world, including the Malaysia area. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So if I could add on a little bit on what Irene has mentioned, we do have quite many data that covers worldwide, which included Malaysia. So we can start from there to use in our Malaysia region. All right, thank you for the answer, Irene. And we have another question from, see over here, from Ethan. Can all the content in our GIS Living Atlas be used and saved as our version? And is everything free?
All right, thank you for the question, Ethan. All right, so currently there is okay, so basically all the content that available in Living Atlas you can use or save it as your own as long as you do not violate the term of use for the content. All right, so my suggestion is you read the term of use on every content that you want to use in the item page before you start work with the content. All right, when we talk about the free, so basically it's not free at all, but it's what you had paid for. So if you purchase ArcGIS online, ArcGIS Pro or ArcGIS Enterprise, basically you will get access to the ArcGIS Living Atlas content as well. All right. So that's the answer.
Thank you, Irene. Since we still have time, we can go over to another question over here. Okay, just give me a moment. Let me try to pull this up. All right. We have a question from, let's see. Oh, I couldn't see the name of the audience who asked this question, but basically the question is, he's curious to know if GIS portal connects any land cadastral details, for example, government data to plan land use details for research purpose. Do you think we have content on land cadastral details from Living Atlas, specifically for Malaysia region?
So I think on the Living Atlas, we are currently don't have that kind of data.
Yeah, but I think maybe we need to go over to the Living Atlas content and see if that's available. But for now, I think we don't have that content yet in the Living Atlas, right?
So let us try to check it further. All right.
Okay, so let me see if we have any other question. Right. So that would be our last question for today's session. And since I think we have answered all of the questions as much as possible for now. So with that, I guess I will end the session over here. Again, thank you for joining today's webinar, and we will see you again next time.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
everyone. Have